Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman. As an avid shooter and a sort of half-assed videographer, I make use of tripods quite a bit. I've been through a number of them over the years. Most of them have been this sort of cheap Chinese variety, which is made from extruded aluminum and some aluminum sheet metal foldings riveted together. These things are lightweight. They're very easy to use. They're handy. They fold up small, but they are not particularly durable. And they're not super steady either. I have my camera set up on another one very similar to this. So I don't generally spend a lot of money on tripods. And I go through these things relatively quickly. I think of these as being semi-disposable. They're cheap. This one's an Amazon Basics. I think it costs like $20 or something on Amazon. I've had some other kind of different tripods. The Joby GorillaPod is a particularly interesting one. There's a lot of reviews of this. I'm not going to go into it in great length, but it does have these foldable legs. You can bend these around things. It gives you a lot of options for mounting your cameras and such. And it also folds up very small, and you can throw it in a backpack or something. This is a great one for travel. But I wanted something that was going to be bigger, heavier, more stable. Not only are these a little wobbly, these cheap ones, but if you want to pan, for instance, you get kind of herky-jerky movement because there's no damping in there. They're great for a static camera or something, but they're not great for shooting video. Also, I'm sometimes behind the times a little bit, but it has come to my attention that a lot of people are using tripods for shooting. And so I just wanted to get something bigger, heavier, that would work both for cameras and also for rifles. And there's a bunch of different options. There's a couple different companies out there that are particularly popular. Bog and Leo Photo come to mind. But I wanted to get a big tripod I could shoot off of or shoot video off of. And so I went with a company out of China, which has a typically incomprehensible brand name, Manbily, I guess. But it's well reviewed, and I think it represents a pretty remarkable value. A lot of the other tripods that are in this same class can be quite expensive. By the time you buy a tripod and accessories, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars. This entire tripod, I think, on Manbily's website sells for right around $290, and then they've got several different discounts available on their website. I'm sure you can find it elsewhere, but I will put a link in the description below to Manbily's website to this exact tripod. So I want to show you how it works, but let's just see what you get in the box first of all. This is how it came in the mail. First of all, there's a little Ziploc bag in the box. It has a couple of steel spike-type feet and an Allen key and a little manual, I guess, for the tripod. This is the WZ-324PA, by the way. And then inside the box, there's a soft carrying case, which is of fairly nice quality, it looks like. And the tripod itself is in a plastic bag, which we don't need anymore. And there it is. It's got carbon fiber legs, which are said to be 8-layer carbon fiber. They're adjustable for length. There's 3 pull-out sections here. And while it does come with these spike-type feet, it has rubber feet right off the bat. It is Arca mount compatible, Arca Swiss mount compatible, and it comes with an Arca plate, which I have attached to one of my cameras already. But of course, it'll also be compatible with an Arca plate that you might have mounted onto your rifle stock or chassis. And there's a narrower channel under the Arca channel, which will accept a Picatinny rail and has 2 stops in there. So let's turn the camera around and get this set up so you can see what this looks like. So as I said, the legs do have 3 extension sections. These simply twist to unlock, and you pull the legs out. All carbon fiber. The total weight of this tripod, for as big as it is quite light. I think just a little over 4 pounds, if I recall correctly. Now this particular tripod is meant specifically for shooting and presumably hunting. You can see there are locking mechanisms here that lock the position of the legs. They regularly extend out to this angle. I don't know what that is, 15 degrees or so. But there are locking tabs here that you can use to unlock that and extend this up to a much shallower angle. If you were using this as a shooting base off of a bench, for instance, you can raise the legs up that high and get a very wide and stable base. But we're concerned with using this standing up. There's a knob here which unlocks the ball. We've got a 2-inch adjustment ball head here, which is very, very smooth. I guess there's little nylon pads or something in there that drag against this aluminum ball, and then this knob locks it down securely. I know a lot of the newer tripods have a quick throw lever as opposed to a knob like this. I think that's faster, but this does seem to lock down quite tightly. You've got another small knob here that controls your pan. As I said, this is dampened, so it's very smooth. If you were using this with a video camera, you could pan around very, very smoothly. And there are markings here so you can tell how many degrees. That's 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. So that's a nice option. And then again, that locks down with a knob. All in all, it seems very, very stable. The clamp for the Arca mount just tightens down with a quick throw lever. There's a little bronze pad behind there to reduce wear. And this is adjustable. There's a little Allen key stored in the head here, which you can use to adjust the tension on that. The tripod comes with a single Arca plate, which locks in there relatively securely. You can put a camera or something in there. But the really cool thing about this tripod is if you have an Arca plate mounted to your rifle, and I do have an Arca plate here on my Howa Model 1500, the rifle is clear, no magazine in the mag well, the bolt's open, and there's no ammo, I think, within several hundred yards of here. So, for YouTube's benefit, you can put the Arca plate in your rifle into this Arca mount, lock it down, and now you have a fairly solid shooting platform. Now, obviously, this is too high for me. Incidentally, I'm 6'2". Well, I'm shrinking. I used to be 6'2", but I'm close to 6'2". So if you're of average height or maybe even a little bit taller, this tripod is going to be way high enough for you to shoot off of. As you can see, this is far too high for me. So I'm going to adjust this down, I don't know, 2 inches or so. Yeah, this ball head is good. Yeah, that's pretty stable. But it does tend to creep if you don't really crank that down. Okay, so that's much better. And this gives you a very, very solid shooting platform. As you can see, we're not at the range, so we're not shooting today. But I do have the scope cam mounted onto my Nikon P Tactical 3-9x40. There are no boats out on the lake in front of me, and there are no houses directly across the lake. So we're going to take a look at a spot on the opposite shoreline, which is about 1,000 yards away. I'll turn on the scope cam, and I'll show you how stable a platform this tripod is. So as you can see now, I'm looking at a dead tree that's overhanging the lake. That's on the opposite shoreline. I think that's about 800 or so yards away. Unfortunately, the porch that I'm standing on has a trampoline floor on it. It's not particularly stable. But as you can see, you can hold pretty stably off of this tripod. Of course, I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. I haven't had a chance to shoot off of this thing yet, but it seems to work quite well. You can see there's Mount Katahdin in the background. Lovely view of the mountain. And you can pan pretty smoothly with this. You can go up and down fairly smoothly. And once again, lock it down tight, and it should stay where it is. So this is a really interesting platform. I've never shot off of a tripod before. I'm sure I'm going to have to do some research and work on my technique, but I think this is a very interesting way to get a fairly stable platform shooting standing up, which is not my preferred position because I'm getting older and shakier, and I really like shooting off of a bench. I don't do a lot of shooting in the field. I'm an occasional hunter. I mostly like to shoot, and I'm mostly doing that on a range at my club, and I'm shooting off of a bench. But I think this is an interesting option, and I can't wait to try it out. So the next time you see this, we'll be at the range, and we'll be shooting probably with this rifle, because this Oryx chassis from MDT is the only thing I have an Arca plate mounted on at the moment. But if I like shooting like this, that might change in the future. So hopefully this was useful to some of you. Again, I will have a link to Manbily's website in the description text down below. And I hope to catch each and every one of you on the next one. Later, guys.